Let's talk about the fact that the palace is terrified. This is the word that is being used by sources close to the royal household. Terrified is the absolute word that they've used. Not concerned, not worried, not troubled. Remember the word concerned? Oh my God, it's going to be my word of the year. Not concerned, not worried, not troubled, but terrified. Let me tell you what they are terrified of. During the time that Prince Andrew served as UK trade envoy, he also held senior rank in the Royal Navy, the Army, and the RAF. Read that again. So he held senior rank in the Royal Navy, Army, as well as the RAF. And Andrew was not just a trade ambassador making business connections. He was also a senior military officer with access to information that goes way beyond trade delegations and business cards. And people in Whitehall are now asking what he could have passed on. Defense export deals are some of the biggest deals that Britain actually does, and it's big business for the UK. So Andrew would have had knowledge of those deals. He would also have requested information about them. And if he was sharing trade information with Jeffrey Epstein, as the misconduct in public office charges suggest, what else was he sharing? Because one security source has actually raised the possibility that is genuine alarming. And he said that everybody is concerned that Epstein was funded and set up by Russia. Let that sink in for a moment. They are genuinely concerned that Epstein was a Russian asset. Whew. Now, the concern is not just the fact that Andrew was friendly with a pedophile. The concern is that Epstein may have, and I don't know if this is true or not, so I'm going to say it again. He may have access to, certain intelligence services. And that Andrew, with his military ranks and his government access and his willingness to share information, may have been an asset. Imagine that. So a whole prince becoming an intelligence asset for a foreign power. And the source called it provocative to suggest, but the source also said, yes, it might be provocative to say that, but it's not entirely out of the question. Whew. So we have a British prince who is 8th in line to the throne with senior military rank operating as an unwitting intelligence asset for another country. And that is what terrifies the palace. And the source that is close to the household spelled it out very clearly, because the source said that there's very deep concern being voiced around Whitehall that the stuff that we've seen so far is about civilian and political decisions. But we know that they're still trawling and there could be a military dimension. So we've got dodgy business deals, we've got dodgy behavior, we've got deviant behavior, we've got political implications, and now we are adding military implications as well. And the sheer scale of what might emerge is enormous. Because I often said that there was a reason why they gave him up so easily to be arrested. There was a reason why, after years and years and years of fudging and hiding and dodging and paying off people, they've now decided, you know what, we're going to sacrifice you. There's more to come. And this is not about embarrassing photographs anymore. This is about very poor judgment in friendships. And this is now potentially become about national security. And it gets worse for the institution because the royals they keep excellent records in their archives. Remember, I've always been banging on about archive management. So everything is documented. And if everything is documented, it means everything is filed and everything could potentially be subpoenaed. The ultimate concern, according to this source, is that the king might be asked to give evidence against his own brother. And we need to think about what that means, because if a whole king is asked to come to court, and remember, the king has already said that he is ready to cooperate when it comes to anything that the investigation might turn up. Oof, I don't know. Yeah. But I think me, like many other people, we've always thought that there was a constitutional bar to the police interviewing a monarch. But as the source notes, constitutional conventions are not law. So there's a difference between a constitutional convention or protocol and actual legal law. And that protocols or constitutional conventions are simply habits. And there is no legal bar to the king being interviewed by the police. No legal bar. So the king can be interviewed by the police like anybody else, according to this source. Now, the conventions have always protected monarchs in the past. So the conventions were, you can't just go up to the king and start questioning him because he's the head of, the armed forces, he's the head of police, But now, those conventions, those habits, and those traditions might be put to one side to let the law take its course. Because if the police decide that they need King Charles's testimony, they might not be anything legally preventing them from asking for it. Ow. So if it also happens that the government in charge at that time also knew what Andrew was doing with state secrets, and then they warned the royal family and the royal family did nothing, that could be trouble as well. Now, I just want to reference something really quickly. Now, somebody called Lord Geit, he was the Queen's private secretary, and many acknowledge that this man was one of the most powerful courtiers during that time. Now, he was the Queen's private secretary in 2017. And it has been suggested that Lord Geit did warn the Queen about Prince Andrew's behavior. Now, if that's true, and if it comes out during the investigation, it could posthumously harm the late Queen, and it could harm her reputation. But here's the thing. From what people have said, and from what many royal biographers have said, Andrew and King Charles ganged up to have Lord Geit ousted. So they had him removed because, again, he was probably the only one in the royal household standing up to both of them saying, this is not right, or whatever. Again, this is speculation. So if the Queen was warned and the Queen knew, maybe is that the reason why the £12 million was paid? Who knows? But anyway, the bottom line is, this is going to run and run. The secrets are many, maybe even deep. Maybe there's more. Who knows? But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. Because again, the more I'm finding out, the more I'm thinking, oh my God. Oh my God. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, please. As always, my name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur. And for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me. And to support my work, holding truth to power, please buy a copy of The Luxpreneur from Amazon, Waterstones, or Barnes & Noble, or you can simply buy me the biggest cup of coffee. Yes, go to buymeacoffee.com/Elizabeth Solaru.